This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 684, Lessons from Business School, Part 1, by the Mad Fientist of madfientist.com. And I am Dan, your host and narrator, bringing you some of the best blogs on personal finance, and I do that each Monday through Friday. If you've got any ideas for us, some topics you'd like to hear us cover, please share those over at oldpodcast.com. Also, if you want to connect with a bunch of like-minded people, including some of the hosts here in the Old Podcast family, and be entered into more bonus book raffles, please come join our Facebook group. You can do that by going to the shortcut link, which is oldpodcast.com/Facebook. Now, let's get to today's post as we start optimizing your life. Lessons from Business School, Part 1, by the Mad Fientist of madfientist.com. You stare at the final question. You are tired, and the words seem to melt into all the ones that came before them. You are not quite sure what the answer is, but a sense of relief starts to well up inside. You finally made it to the end. You take your best educated guess, and you scratch the graphite into the final circle. You flick through the packet of paper one last time, put away your pencil and calculator, and head to the front of the classroom. After handing in your exam, you step outside, and the winter air instantly brings you back to life. As the snow silently falls around you, you smile and breathe the fresh air deep into your lungs. You're done with exams, done with school, and you have only one thing left to think about: Santa. Okay, it didn't happen exactly like that, but I did just finish my last class for the year, and it feels really good. As I wrote about in the free Ivy League degree article, I am currently pursuing a master's degree part-time while I work full-time. It is definitely a lot of work, but it is also really rewarding. This past term highlighted how lucky I am to be pursuing this degree because I had the privilege of taking a real estate investment course at one of the top business schools in the world. It was one of the best classes I've ever taken, and since the material is still so fresh in my mind, I figured I'd share with you some of the key takeaways from the course. While we explored some interesting real estate case studies, did a lot of modeling and cash flow analyses, and covered some really interesting real estate topics, I'm not actually going to focus on what I learned about real estate. Instead, I'm going to discuss some of the bigger ideas that came up in the course that can be applied to many different types of businesses and investments. In each class, I found myself scribbling some key nuggets of wisdom that I wanted to remember, so here are a few of my favorites. Low risk, high reward. Most of us probably understand that investments with the possibility of high reward usually come with high risk. While risk and reward normally go together, you don't necessarily have to accept the high risk. In real estate, as in other types of businesses, the truly successful people are those who are able to identify the high-risk, high-reward investments that allow them to use their expertise to mitigate most of the risks. Rather than simply accept higher risk when attempting to achieve higher reward, think about what you are good at and find investments that will allow you to use your knowledge and experience to create low-risk, high-reward investments. Money is made when you buy, not when you sell. The profitability of an investment is usually determined by your purchase price, not the selling price. When you sell, you are simply at the mercy of the market and can expect to receive the market value for your investment. To maximize profits, you need to make sure you obtain the best price when you buy the investment. A quote that I wrote down during one of the lectures was, "Low cost basis can right a lot of wrongs." Even if some of your assumptions are incorrect or if you make some mistakes along the way, you can still be profitable if you got a really good deal on the investment when you bought it. For example, if you buy a foreclosed warehouse for a fraction of what it would cost to build an identical warehouse, even if you make mistakes when acquiring tenants and your vacancy rate is higher than you predicted, it's possible you'll still be in a position to make a solid profit due to the fact that you bought the property for pennies on the dollar. Negotiation. The previous topic leads nicely into another topic that was frequently discussed, negotiation. 1. Ultimate power is the ability to walk away. The buyer is usually in a much more powerful negotiating position because they are simply able to walk away at any time. Buyers who recognize this can use the ability to walk away to their advantage during negotiations. 2. Don't make concessions without extracting something. It's okay to make concessions in a negotiation, but just ensure that you are able to extract something valuable when you do so. For example, if when purchasing a house the sellers make a counteroffer that is higher than your initial offer, it is okay to increase your offer, but when you do, try to get something else thrown into the deal that you want, like an earlier closing date or appliances, etc. Negotiation is a give and take, so it's okay if you give a little as long as you're taking something at the same time. 3. Hear that in tomorrow's episode. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled Lessons from Business School by the Mad Fientist of and&nbsp. And I will finish up that post for you tomorrow, but before we go today, I want to remind you again that you can be part of our free Facebook group, which will get you into some bonus book raffles. You can ask and answer questions and participate in conversations with the hosts of our podcasts. Simply search for Optimal Living Daily Podcasts in Facebook and request to join the group. Or got a shortcut link for you too. That is oldpodcast.com/Facebook. And that will do it for another installment of Optimal Finance Daily. Have a great Thursday, and as always, thank you so much for listening each and every day. I'll see you back here in the Friday show tomorrow. That's where we'll finish up this post and where your optimal life awaits.